So
You
we've
know,
seen that.
you touched on immigration, and both sides agree that there are laws, and both sides agree that they're not comfortable with the laws, and both sides have not been able to change the laws, the immigration laws, right? Whether it be amnesty, whether it be sponsoring individuals for work for a certain like work visas,
Solid citizen, a
yeah,
solid citizen.
and post a bond to let this person be here,
Yeah.
and you're responsible. Whatever the rule is, whatever the change is. Do you think it's possible that all of this craziness that we've seen over these last, what is it, 6 months, but in reality, the last 2 months, it's gone crazy here in Minnesota. Do you think it's possible that Congress can enact some immigration reform for the better, that they can come together, that cooler heads will prevail, or is
No,
sure?
because they raise money on this issue. Both sides, but more so the Democrats, raise money on this dysfunctional position we have. And if you make it functional, you're taking that source of revenue away.
Right. Sad.
Yeah, I think I told you that time. I know I mentioned this story so many times. I don't know if we've done it on a podcast, but when I used to do CNBC and Financial News Network, that time I met with the guy who was Reagan's former budget director, and he said, "What do you think the problem is?" And I said, "Look, I'm really reluctant to say because you've forgotten more about how things work than I'll ever know. I'm just a market guy." And he said, "Yeah, well, what do you think the problem is for the markets?" And I said, "Well, the problem is we elect lawyers, and they don't have to be good lawyers. As long as they know how to make a soundbite that makes them sound like statesmen, we vote for them. And we send them to Washington with a rule book and say, we're your constituents, look out for us, and read the rule book and use your lawyerly powers." And then we find out, after they get there, that we're not their constituents. Their constituents are the guys that gave them the money to make the sound bites. And I remember him looking at me saying, you don't even know how right you are. And these people are bought before they ever get to Congress. I mean, imagine somebody comes to you and saying, I like what you said on the podcast. I want you to run for representative. Like Mike, for example. And you say, all right, where the hell am I going to raise $15 million? And some guy shows up with a checkbook. How are you going to say no to that guy when you get in? You're bought before you ever get there. And that's a dysfunctional system, but I don't see it changing.
We've tried so many times to change election reform, and they just find another loophole. Those lawyers find another loophole, a way around it.
Shakespeare. First, let's kill the lawyers. Right?
All right. Well, I
Shakespeare
think
was
with
a
that,
black
let's.
woman. Did you know that? Yeah. I didn't know that. Shakespeare was a black woman. That came out this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
She had a hell of a beard, though, I got to tell you.
Self portraits were interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.